And a good morning to you. Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show, hour number 2 on this Tuesday, the 20th day of May. There is an organization whose name you probably would recognize because it's been around for a long time, and that is the Visiting Nurses Association, in this particular case, the Covenant VNA. Visiting nurses associations are prevalent throughout the United States. You'll find them almost everywhere. And Covenant is no exception. It's had theirs since back, 1929 or something like that. But they have decided now to change the name. And we're going to find out about that this morning, why the change and what it means. Is there a change in service, in mission, and all of that? And to talk to us about it from the marketing department at Covenant, we say hello to Caitlin Vile. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks
Thank you for
being with us.
having me.
Absolutely. She is a lead marketing specialist with Covenant. So, okay, everyone knows the VNA.
Mm-hmm.
Visiting Nurses Associations have been around forever.
Yep.
Covenant now says, nope, it's now called Covenant at Home. How come?
So this has actually been a couple years, a very thoughtful, strategic decision that our team has been working through. And we just wanted to choose a name that's really going to reflect all of the services that we provide. So a lot of times, Visiting Nurse Association, people assume it's just nurses, but we actually do a lot more than that. We have therapy services, we have hospice care, palliative care. So we wanted to choose a name that's really going to help patients and families understand the full scope of what we're doing.
So was that what inspired it? I mean, just simply to rebrand it to something more palatable to the user, so to speak?
Yeah. Yep. So we just wanted people to know we do more than just skilled nursing at your home. We have those therapy services and other services as well.
So let's start with the region. What do you cover? What areas does Covenant at Home? Now I'm going to have to learn to say it.
Yeah.
I want to say Covenant VNA.
Yeah.
What region do you cover?
So we go out most of the thumb, Saginaw, Bay City, up into Midland, up into Pinconning area. So this main county and then out into the thumb. So we have a pretty big region that we cover.
And these services, VNA said the word visiting and meant came to you.
Yep.
Covenant at Home, any different? Other than more services, any different?
Nope, nothing different. You're going to get the same care at your home. It's going to be same nurses, same smiling faces. Nothing's going to change. It's just offering a name that expresses the care that we give and the therapy services and home infusion and those things.
And we should point out, this is more than sort of, I don't know what to call some of the home care agencies, but they're not medical. They go in and they help clean the house and take care of you and things like that.
Yeah.
This is true medical service, isn't it?
Yep, this is true medical, so we can...
Covered by insurance?
Yes, covered by insurance. So we're not going to be necessarily going in and doing someone's hair or cleaning up the house. We're going to be giving therapy services, so physical therapy, occupational therapy. Maybe you just came out of a surgery and you need something changed or some wound care. It's going to be more of that, or the hospice care that we would give. So skilled nurses coming into your home.
Rather than lay in a hospital bed someplace.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so it gives patients an opportunity to be in a place where they're most comfortable, which is home. A lot of people would rather be in their home than, like you said, being in a hospital bed.
So because this is skilled service, and the first thing I think of is skilled nursing service, but it's skilled service.
Yep.
Does there have to be a doctor referral for the insurance company to then say, okay, we'll pay for it?
Yeah, so you would get a doctor referring you to us. So you might have a doctor that orders home care for you, and they would give you a choice of what home care service you would want to use. So you could say, I want to come with Covenant at Home, and the doctor would give you the referral to be able to have us come into your home.
So a patient who, let's say, has been with Covenant VNA, Visiting Nurses Association, now the name change, Covenant Home, does that patient have to expect any changes in what they're receiving in terms of service?
Nope, nothing will change. So they'll see the same nurses that have been coming out, the same providers. Nothing's going to change. It's really just from a marketing perspective, we want to be able to give the community a name that will help really give the full scope of what we do.
So from the patient standpoint, they don't do anything. They
Nope.
just receive the service as they always have.
Yep.
Don't even have to notify the insurance company, because I'll bet you do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of assume that. And this has been around. I mean, from what I read, VNA was, the Covenant VNA was founded in 1929.
Mm-hmm. Been around a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden somebody woke up one day and said, we're going to change the name.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's been a adjustment, but in the long run, it's going to help us keep moving forward as the community's evolving. We're going to evolve with it, and this name change is going to help with that.
What sets it apart from all the other healthcare providers out there, and of which there are a ton?
Yep, there are a ton. I think a really big thing for us is we are a part of Covenant Healthcare, so we have that trusted healthcare in the community. So we're backed by them, and we're able to coordinate care with them, and we have access to specialized resources that other places might not have because we are a part of Covenant. And then our team, we really have an amazing team of nurses that go out and they care about their patients. It's not just another person that they're seeing on a daily, but really just giving them the individualized care that they really deserve.
If I needed the services,
Mm-hmm.
and a nurse provider comes to my home, am I going to see that same person again? Am I going to be able to develop a relationship with that provider rather than a different person walking in my door every day?
Yeah, so you may not have the same exact person every day, but you will be getting the same person consistently, and you'll be able to you'll be able to build the relationship with that person. We're not just gonna throw somebody random at you and like, who is this?
Good.
Yeah, so we want you to be comfortable, and of course we want the relationship to go both ways. So we want those people to click, because it can be scary having that care, and you want to have somebody you trust. And
All right, hang on. We'll come back for one more segment as we talk to Caitlin Vial, and she's the lead marketing specialist with Covenant Healthcare, Covenant at Home, and we will be back.
Looking for signs and graphics of all sizes?
All right, we're back with you. In studio with me is Caitlin Vial, and she's a lead marketing specialist with Covenant Healthcare, talking about Covenant at Home today, which is the new name for the organization that's been around since 1929, and that's the Covenant Visiting Nurse Association. So let's ask this, Caitlin, if someone is at home and they feel they need the services, what's the protocol? What do they have to do to get Covenant at Home to come to their home?
so they can either visit our website for more information, or they can give us a call at 989-799-6020, and our team is there to answer questions. They can get you through next steps, but likely they'll have to visit their doctor so that they can get an order for home care and be referred to us.
That order, I mean, is that the only way to get your service, or does that order have to do more with insurance than anything?
That has to do with insurance, but
Because if I'm a self-pay, let's say I don't have insurance, or whatever, can I just call you up and say I'm a self-pay?
then I would call us, and then our team
Talk about
can talk about the next steps for you.
But referral's important, isn't it, though? Because that means the medical side of it's already been
Yeah.
looked at. And
Yep.
decisions have been made.
Yeah.
You also mentioned hospice. You guys do hospice care too?
Yep, we do hospice care, so we have teams of nurses that go in, really help with if you are facing end of life, that they're there for you, really helping the quality of life. Hospice can be a scary word for some people.
Yeah.
But for our team, it's really just helping somebody with the quality of life for the remainder of their life. So they're not feeling uncomfortable or in pain. We want people comfortable.
So, even though there's a name change, the mission hasn't changed, has it?
No, mission hasn't changed.
How would you define the mission if you were going to look at this from above and say, here's what Covenant at Home is?
So we're really just a team that is looking to give the best quality, extraordinary care for people in their home. So we're a trusted provider. We want to give you the best care that we can.
And when you say nurses, and I often wondered about this with Visiting Nurse Association, these are registered nurses?
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're registered nurses.
Some of them come off the floor?
Sometimes they might decide that they want to make that change, or some of them might start out and know that that's what they want to do is home care, in-home care from the start.
So there is a career path
Mm-hmm.
for a nurse. If a nurse is interested in becoming a visiting nurse, what do they need to do?
So I would just call our number still and talk.
The hospital's always looking for nurses.
We're
aren't they?
always looking for
That's
nurses.
a constant.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They could call, get you to the right person, and look at what openings
we're
we
kind
have.
of blessed around here with Saginaw Valley State University
Mm-hmm.
and its fine nursing program and everything. We actually turn out a lot of nurses, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and we have a lot of students that will do a clinical with us. So they might spend a semester or a few weeks that are with us, just learning and doing some stuff with some of our nurses.
So you've been there 6 months.
Yeah.
What did you have to do to learn the way a hospital works?
So I'm still learning every day. There's a lot to it, but really everyone on my team is really open, and I go with different departments. So our hospice team, our palliative team, and
You've been out with them, so you see what they do. And
so not fully in the community, but I've sat with them in different capacities and just kind of gone through what the ins and outs are, because there is a lot, and it's good to know exactly what our
you use
nurses
that
are
word.
doing.
You've been there long enough now to use big words. Tell everybody what palliative care is.
Yeah, so palliative care, it's really just helping manage symptoms. So a good example is maybe a cancer patient is going through chemotherapy, and that can make you very nauseous. It can cause a lot of pain.
Side effects.
Yep, a lot of side effects that you might have, and it really just helps manage those symptoms to make it a more comfortable experience.
And so it's a big word, but it covers a specific thing.
Yeah, and it's very specific, and a lot of people don't know what it is, but it's super helpful, and it's really great for those patients that might be going through cancer, COPD, things like that, just to help with symptoms.
So let's stick with cancer just for a moment. Can the treatments be applied at home? I mean, does, for example, infusion, is that something they can do in a home? The other kinds of treatment, obviously not radiation, but
Yeah.
chemotherapy, can that be done in a home setting?
So they still do that over with the cancer center, but we have people on our team that could meet them at the cancer care center to just go over the treatments that we would give.
Treatment's not done at home, though.
Yeah.
It's the aftercare.
Yeah. Yep.
And that can be lengthy.
It can be.
But we're doing better today, aren't we? I mean, there are more treatments for cancer now than there ever were.
Yeah.
How about post-surgery?
Yep. So if somebody had a surgery, let's say they had like a hip replacement, we could have somebody come out and do therapy, or say they have a wound that needs to be adjusted. They can show the caretaker how to clean the wound, things like that. So yeah, post-surgery, that's when home care would be good to have, so that you have somebody there and you're not going back into the hospital.
Now, you think about physical therapy, and I think going to a physical therapy office, and they've got all this equipment and they've got everything. What do they do at home? Is manipulative therapy more than anything?
Yeah, so it would be different things that you can do at home and things that we would show you so that when we're not there, you're still able to do it and you don't have to necessarily be at the office, because some of these people are homebound and they can't leave the home very easily. So it's better for them to, for us to show not only patient but their caregiver so that they can be doing it together.
That's an interesting question too. I mean, do you teach the caregiver how to be a caregiver?
Yeah. So some of these things, like if I had to teach somebody physical therapy, or I had somebody at home that I had to help, I wouldn't know what to do. But we have our staff can come in and they can show you this is what you need to do, and teach the caregiver how to
be a caregiver.
How to be a caregiver, because it can be tough.
All right. So again, in conclusion, anything you'd like to add about the new name or what it means for the future?
I just think it's really going to help us continue to evolve with the community. We're going to be providing the same care. Everything's going to be the same, except for we're just going to be communicating the name differently. But we're excited to just continue being here for those in the region for years to come.
If I went online and put in Covenant Visiting Nurses Association in my search engine, would it still come up?
Yep, it should come up. Yep.
What's the website?
So it is, you could type in covenantathome.com or go to m.covenanthealthcare.com/covenant-at-home. So either one would work.
Look it up, folks.
Yeah. Look up Covenant at Home and it should pop up.
Well, Caitlin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your sharing with us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, Caitlin Weil, we appreciate her being here for Covenant at Home, the former Covenant Visiting Nurses Association. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour, 989-752-6111. That'd be the number to put in touch with us.
Reliable.
989-752-6111, whatever you'd like to chat about. There is in Michigan a piece of legislation which has to do with Michigan's pricing and advertising of consumer items. And this law goes back to 1978, and it provides compensation to customers who are overcharged on certain items. For example, if you go into a store and the price tag, let's say you're in a supermarket and the price tag on the item is $3.59, and you get to the register and it checks out and it's $4.29, if you tell the clerk, look, your sign says $3.59, that's what you need to be charged, because if you are overcharged, there are penalties for overcharging you compared to the price that was advertised. According to Michigan.gov, consumers, you the buyer, are given an amount equal to the difference between the price displayed and the price charged for the consumer item. For example, if something's $1.59 and it scans at $2.09, the difference is 50 cents. And the buyer receives a bonus, sometimes referred to as a bounty, of 10 times the difference. That's not less to $1 and a maximum of $5. If the seller refuses to pay, the consumer can take the seller to court and may receive up to $250 in damages and $300 in attorney's fees. The one thing that's unclear when it comes to the term pay and whether the seller can issue a gift certificate is a legal question best answered by the court. And there are a number of cases that have been, filed. A lot of this came about. Kroger was having difficulties with it. Now Kroger says, quote, the Kroger Michigan division is committed to full compliance with all Michigan laws, including the scanner law, We prioritize transparency and affordable pricing to ensure a positive experience to our customers. And a Meijer spokesman wrote the Free Press, quote, Meijer is committed to pricing integrity and takes accurate pricing seriously, as well as the requirements of the Michigan Shopping Reform and Modernization Act of 2011. If a consumer observes what they believe to be a discrepancy, we ask they go to our customer service counter and speak with one of our team members. According to this article, which was in the Free Press, Walmart, I don't know when this was, over the years, it says, Walmart paid the state of Michigan $780,000 in 2006 to settle a claim that the retailer repeatedly failed to price individual items in its stores. Home Depot in 1998, going way back, paid $250,000. Now the law changed recently too in 2011, where the new law in 2011 requires that items need to be displayed on shelf signs near the price of that item, but you no longer have to put individual stickers on an item. So when you buy something at the store, you'll notice sometimes there's no price on the item. But as long as the price is clearly displayed on the shelf, it meets the requirement. And the business still has to provide that price. All right, let's go to the phones. Al is in Bay City. Al, good morning.
Morning, Arthur. I wonder if you could help me out. I'm trying to find out what the dates of the Dow Invitational is.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can do that because I'm the first tee announcer, and I better be there on the right days. And this year, I will tell you in a moment here. Let me get my calendar up so I don't misspeak. All right. Here we go. It's the end of June, and the dates for the tournament. The tournament itself begins on Thursday, the 26th of June, runs 27, 28, and finishes up on Sunday, 29th. Got it? You there? Al? Hello,
Yeah.
Al? Oh,
Thank you very much.
okay. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Okay, bye.
Yep, it's that time of year again. The Dow Championship gets ready to come to town. They'll have pro-ams and practice days and lots of things to talk about. And tickets, by the way, are available and reasonable. And it's a fun event. I mean, if you've not watched these young women hit a golf ball, for a golfer like me and many I know, even great golfers, they watch these young gals hit a ball 290, 280, 290, 300 yards. And they're petite. But boy, can they hit a ball. Wow. It's amazing to watch. And not only that, they are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. As the first tee announcer, I get to sit there in a tent and see each and every one of them over the 4 days. And to a person, they're friendly, they smile, they have a good time, they enjoy what they're doing. But boy, I'll tell you what, when they step up to the tee box, you can see the mental image change of how serious they are about what they're doing. They're professionals through and through. And it's amazing to watch. If you've never been there, you owe it yourself to spend a little time at the Dow Championship this year at the Midland Country Club. It is a worthwhile endeavor. Truly, truly is. All right, we're going to take a break. Lines are open for the next 15 minutes or so. Glad to chat with you. All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and Carl's with us in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I don't know if you saw this in the news yesterday about Moody's credit rating service downgrading the credit rating of the United States?
Yep, that's one service. There are many, but yes, that was one.
Yeah, there's one. And it's based largely on this budget bill that's working its way through Congress right now, this big, beautiful bill.
Which is interesting that they put out a credit rating before the bill is passed.
Well, it's been scored by the
In other words,
Congressional Budget
words,
Office.
it's a guess because it hasn't been passed. It's still going to be changed a little bit. How do they know what it's going to look like before it goes into effect?
Well, they're scoring it as it is now.
But it's not in
believe.
place right
I
now,
think-
so why should it affect our credit if it's not yet in place?
Okay, well,
That's like saying to you, I'm going to lower your credit score because I think you might go out and buy something. But I don't know you are.
looking at your credit report over the last couple of years and seeing that your debts are going up and your income is going down over that whole time.
Well, that's not just this president, is it?
Okay, but the CBO is saying that this bill is going to blow a hole in the budget. It's going to increase the deficit. Bond rates are going up, and that's going to cause interest rates to stay higher or go up, and that means our servicing of our debt is going to cost even more.
Yep, I don't disagree with you there because I would like to see constraint. So I'm not going to disagree that it's going to have some impact, obviously. And that's a big if the number actually is 3 to 5 trillion added to the debt, I find that unconscionable. We already have too big a debt. I think they ought to, take second looks. However, the other side of this, which isn't talked about, the other side of this, which opponents don't talk about, is how this could stimulate the economy. We don't hear much about that.
Yeah, but they've been saying that for years, Art. We cut taxes, it's going to stimulate growth. They've been making that promise for 25 years. And I don't think there's really evidence out there to show that's what happens.
Well, raising taxes doesn't do anything either. Certainly doesn't stimulate.
If you want to close the deficit, you have to have some money coming into the government. You can't just spend and have no money coming in.
Yeah, how about you have some spending restraints? What do you think about that idea?
Well, okay. Well, this budget has an increase for the military. Now you're telling me,
but that's the only one. Oh no! Wait a minute. That's the only one.
Well, it's an increase in the military budget,
but it's a decrease in other budgets.
And abuse in the $800 billion military budget. You're telling me there's no waste and abuse?
Yeah, as long as you agree that there's waste and abuse everywhere else. Yeah, of course there is.
Then
we've all heard of the $800 hammers.
Then let's cut everything. Let's not leave the military out.
Oh, I'm for that. Well, I don't know. I would leave the military as it is and go to waste and try and eliminate waste in the military. But as far as cutting the budget across the board, hey, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'd love to do that.
Well,
that means things you like will also get. That means things you like will also get cut.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing. They're not cutting the military.
I understand that.
So, right, okay. Well, and they're not going to cut Social Security, they say, and they're not going to cut Medicare. So where is this money going to come from if they're not going to cut the big programs?
It'll come from your pocket and mine like it always does.
Well, if we start paying higher prices for tariff items, yes, it'll come out of our pockets.
Well, that's to be seen too. I think all the hullabaloo about his tariffs and how bad they were and how the market depressed. Now look, the market's way back up again, and most of the
That's
countries
one
are coming,
measure.
and most of the countries are coming to the table to negotiate tariffs. And I think when all is said and done, we're going to be in a much better international trade position than we